Welcome, Life Sciences, to another exciting life science lesson. As I said, always exciting to teach life science. We have finished our journey with excretion, the human excretion. And today's lesson, we're going to look at a bit of revision, right? So we're going to go over some important concepts that we need to look at, but we're looking at revision questions. We're going to see what kind of questions we can ask on this section. If we have a look at our mind map behind us, where are we going, right? Just a quick preview, each of our sections that we're going to revise, right? The whole concept first. What is excretion? Why do we need to excrete? Then we're going to look at the whole, the human urinary system. How do we excrete these things that we're going to learn about, nitrogenous wastes? How does our kidney excrete it? We've got to look at the anatomy, and then we've got to look at how it functions, right? How we take all these wastes at the end, we get this product called urine, and how important the kidney is in a lot of homeostatic processes. And then we're finally going to look at what should happen if our kidneys should fail. And as I said to you before, it is sometimes quite a challenging section. There's certain parts, especially how the kidneys function, when it can be quite challenging. Also, there's quite a bit of terms that are new terminology, trying to get what's in your head up here down onto paper, making it sound that you know what's going on. And sometimes that can be quite challenging. Speaking of terminology, right, as I say to you each time, right, there are new terms that come up. Do I understand the terms? Do I know the terms? Am I able to explain the terms? Can I use the terms when I need to explain things? So sometimes life science is a different language, and you need to be able to express yourself in that language, for that language to come across nice and clearly. So make sure you know the terms, understand them, write them down. If you don't, go through your books or the revision notes and make sure that you understand each of the terms. All right, so let's start off with this whole concept of what excretion is. Now, guys, very important, when we look at it, we're looking excretion, when we look at the word, we can't get it confused with some of the other things like digestion when we looked at digestive system. So what we're looking at is the concept, this was important, that we need to get rid of metabolic waste. And what metabolic waste was, our body does things, all right? So it's basically the normal things that we do, cellular respiration, all right, even trying to keep after digestion, and anything that our body does, sometimes we have, all right, these metabolic waste products. And in order for us to work properly, we need to get rid of it. That is what excretion is, the removal of these waste products. And what are the kind of things that our body needs to get rid of? We need to get rid of water. And we say, oh, that's so weird, water, right? Get rid of it, my body needs water. But we need to understand that water can have effect on our blood pressure, right? So we need to make sure that we can control over there. We need to get rid of carbon dioxide. When we look at the gaseous exchange system, the reason why, all right, is that when carbon dioxide is with water, it actually forms an acid. And we know that our body doesn't like acid, right? Any changes in pH could have a negative effect. Then we have this whole concept of a nitrogenous waste. And what was a nitrogenous waste? Some of the things in our body, especially stuff that works in our liver, right, gives off nitrogen. And what happens to nitrogen is nitrogen can, all right, be converted to ammonia. And ammonia in our body, when we look at this concept of ammonia, that's like handy Andy, right? It's poisonous for us. So all of these things, water, not poisonous, but can affect our blood pressure, carbon dioxide changes, all right, the pH in my body, these nitrogenous waste, this nitrogen is detrimental to how my cells work, and I need to get rid of all of that. Okay, so what organs are involved? So when we look at excretion, there we go, the skin's going to help with that water part. And that's going to be, all right, where we're going to sweat. The lungs, they're going to get rid of the carbon dioxide, and with this, there's going to be a little bit of water. It comes out as water vapor. Right, our colon, when we ingest the feces that we, all right, get rid of, we have a little bit of bile pigments. Remember, bile was very necessary, right, in breaking down fats and helping fats, and that's going to go out of the colon. And then obviously the ones that we are going to really concentrate on now is the kidneys. And the kidneys are going to end up excreting the substance called urine, and in that urine is going to be some water, because that's how we do control our water balance, and there's going to be some waste products in that. So that's what we're looking at. So when we look at the excretory system, there are products, things when our normal body and our body works normally, we have these waste products that we need to get rid of, and we have these different organs that are going to get rid of it. This section, however, we're going to concentrate on the kidneys. Now, if we have a look at what the urinary system is, and the urinary makes urine, all right? And what did we say that urine is? It's a combination of water and wastes. So I need to have a system, and this is really important. This system, my kidneys, need to filter the blood. What do I need to filter? Filter means I have good things in it and I have waste things. And I need to sort out the good. I need to keep the good and I need to get rid of the waste. So that's what a filter is. It separates the two. And then the next concept, a lot of the concept with the kidneys has got to do with this concept of homeostasis, a balance. There's certain things in our body that need to be kept in balance. And when we talk about certain things, we often talk about the cells, right? There are cells and they've got fluid around them. In order for the cells to work properly, things around them, their environment needs to be perfect. It needs to be in balance, right? And that is what homeostasis is about. And we're going to look at how does the urinary system, specifically our kidneys, have an effect on keeping things in balance. All right. So this is a diagram that you need to be able to label. This is the urinary system. This is the human urinary system. So what are we looking at? You need to be able to label it. This is the kidneys. Okay, very important. We have two of them. They're going to filter. There we go. And the urine is the end product, is going to come down these tubes called a ureter. They're going to be stored in a bladder, and then we're going to get rid of it on the outside by a urethra. Guys, just remember that you need to also know that the blood, what blood is coming into my kidneys and what the blood looks like on the way out. And as we go through the section, you will do that. Okay, this is a very important diagram. You need to be able to label it. You'll see a lot of the questions that we look at, you need to be able to label it. A lot of the questions are entangled with each other, but this would be a common question that we're going to have. This is the macroscopic, means I can see it with my eyes. I don't need a microscope, and that is going to be the macroscopic structure of the kidney. Okay, so just a quick few questions. And this section of work, they often like to ask multiple choice questions. So let's just warm up. A multiple choice question is always nice and easy. It says, all of the following belong to the urinary system except. Okay, so urethra, we know it does. Ureter sounds the same, and it does. The bladder, we've just looked at it there. Oh, then we get the prostate gland. And that is a gland only found in males that helps with reproduction. So it's definitely not going to be that. Okay, they're nice and easy just to get the brain going. And as I said, have a look at the question that I've put on the board for you. As soon as you see it, it's the macroscopic structure. It says to you, study the diagram below of the longitudinal section through a kidney and answer the questions that follow. Now, if we look at our very first question, sure, 8 marks. 8 marks is quite a lot, and all they want you to do is to label it. As I said to you, right, so when we label it, you must know the macroscopic structure of the kidney. You must be able to label it. So here, you don't always have to write renal, but renal tells you it's the kidney. So here is the capsule. Do you have that? Can you remember on the outside is always the cortex. On the inside of the kidney is my renal medulla. It always looks like fish. Right here, I've got my pelvis. Then I've got my calyx. And you see, guys, if you don't study this, then I'm not going to know what it is. This is my ureter, not my urethra. And how do I know which of my blood vessels are? I'm going to look at the arrow. So going out is always a vein, and that's my renal vein. And going in is always going to be my artery, because an artery goes to. Okay, guys, so you see 8 marks. Maybe different questions, 1 or 2 marks here, but know your kidney. Those are nice, easy study things, right, to know, be able to label it. Okay, we're going to have a quick wee break, and we'll be right back.